Welcome into Riley Everyday, and today we're starting a new series where I will be looking at the top 5 storylines across the power conferences. Of course, we will begin in my territory with the ACC, so let's get into it. The fifth biggest storyline for the ACC is the 4 new coaches entering the fold. You have Luke Laux at Florida State, who's taking over for Leonard Hamilton, and Hamilton retired after 23 years of coaching the Noles. During that time frame, he got 1 conference title, 1 conference tourney title, and took Florida State to the Elite 8 in 2018. Now, Laux actually played point guard under Hamilton from 2008 to 2012. Since then, he's coached as an assistant for the Warriors and the Kings before taking over at his alma mater. Observing his roster his first year there's really no way to sugarcoat it. It's pretty mid. There's a lot of mid-major up transfers, but I'll give you one to watch. It's Robert McRae V, who's boomeranging back to the high major ranks. He began his career at Wake Forest in 2022, but spent the last 2 at Jacksonville. And he's the main one to watch because he should command the lion's share of shot creation responsibilities. But Hamilton wasn't the only aging coach in the league to hang it up. You had Jim Larrañaga, who retired around Christmas after 13 years at the U. During that time frame, he really elevated the Miami program, getting 2 regular season titles, 1 ACC tournament title, and the Final Four in 2023. And in comes Jay Lucas, who has previous stops as an assistant at both Kentucky and Duke. Actually, the past 2 years, he worked as John Shire's associate head coach and was known as the mastermind for that defense. He's done a lot of nice work in the portal and in the high school ranks so far. If you look at his roster, he brings in Trey Donaldson from Michigan, who should be a net upgrade over Nigel Pack. Pack was just too streaky and perennially injured since that Final Four run. Donaldson, on the other hand, he's not exactly a true point guard, but he can create his offense, can do some table setting as well. And then on the wing, he has Shelton Henderson, a high 4-star, fringe 5-star recruit who was a McDonald's All-American snub. And Henderson is powerfully built at 6'5". He can really do everything but shoot. He's good with the ball in his hands. It's a nice first step, really good defender. He's just got to get that jumper to come along. Then in the front court, you have these 2 post-hype sleepers with Malik Reneau and Ernest Uday, both former McDonald's All-Americans. And Reneau has always had that ability to sort of dribble, pass, and shoot. You just never saw him put it all together at Indiana. But maybe getting out from under Mike Woodson will revitalize his career. Uday, on the other hand, he fits this shot blocker, rim protector, rim runner archetype. But once again, it's pretty much just been flashes. He's super physical around the rim, plays above the rim as well, which is a nice contrast to Reneau. TCU got gashed at the basket last year, and it's tough to not see Uday at least playing a part in that. However, Lucas really thrived with a bunch of these types of centers during his time at Duke, so hopefully he can help Uday take the next step as well. Then you have Will Wade coming to NC State. Now, he is the biggest name of the ACC coaching cycle. Kevin Keatts was fired after 8 years on the job after a real up and down tenure in Raleigh. Of course, he had the magical Final Four in 2024, but that was combined with 4 missed NCAA tournaments as well. Wade, on the other hand, he spent the last 2 seasons at McNeese following a show cause after his departure from LSU, but he made a major splash right away and got Darion Williams, one of the top transfers available from Texas Tech. Williams can really do everything. He is a powerfully built wing who can score in bunches, he can facilitate, good team defender, might even be the odds-on favorite to be ACC Player of the Year going into the season. Now, the rest of the roster, though, has a lot to prove. You have Michigan State transfer Trey Holloman, Houston transfer Terrence Arsenault, and UNC transfer Vin Allen Lubin. All 3 of those have been productive as high-end bench pieces or even spot starters, but this will probably be the most minutes they have ever commanded. Lastly, I'll give you a dark horse name to watch. It's sophomore Paul McNeil, a former top 60 recruit who performed well down the stretch when Keatts actually played him. He scored 14 or more points in 3 of NC State's final 6 games. And last, you have my personal favorite coach in the ACC from this cycle. It's Ryan Odum at Virginia. He steps in after Tony Bennett retired. Bennett spent 15 years at the helm, leading Virginia to that 2019 national title and really dominating the ACC for the better part of a decade. His former assistant coach Ron Sanchez was the interim this past year but was not retained, and in comes Odum. What's interesting about him is he actually beat Bennett as the head coach of UMBC, the 16 seed, in that infamous 16-1 upset back in 2018. He also had a stop at Utah State before spending the past 2 years with VCU. And part of the reason why I love Odum so much is he has just done yeoman's work with both his staff and his roster. He got Griff Aldrich from Longwood to be his associate head coach, and Aldrich made 2 tournaments with the Lancers. This was an absolute coup. And then it's tough not to love what he's done through the portal. He brought in Jakari Lane from North Dakota State, Malik Thomas from San Francisco. He has a really good track record with bucket-getting guards like Steven Ashworth and Max Shulga, and he'll see if these two can be next in line. And lastly, their imported front court is super intriguing. You have Thee de Ridder coming in from Belgium, and he honestly reminds me of a Bennett-type mover blocker stretch 4. He's super physical, can play in the post, has great footwork, also a nice projectable jumper too, good athleticism. And then Johan Grunlow, 5-man out of Germany, just brimming with upside. He's this shot-blocking stretch big. It'll be really interesting to see how those two work together, and if Odum can make a splash his first year in the league. I truly believe Virginia has top 4 upside. So that's the 5th biggest storyline to watch with these coaches coming in to the ACC.